Looks like we're getting confirmation that everybody's good, so let's get going. All right, so today we're going to talk about search engine optimization, how to optimize your website, how to create those words inside of your website that are going to be searchable on Google. And first of all, I want to show you real quickly with my website what I've been able to do, and then how I was able to do it. And so one of the key phrases that I've been working on, and before let's regress here for a quick second. Again, I know you guys have heard this a million times, but when we're all done today, by tomorrow, this is about the same time, I'll have the video uploaded. That'll be a how-to video that'll record this session. So if you don't catch all of the tips and tricks here in this video, in this webinar, it'll be recorded for you inside of your resource center. So all you do is you go to Resource Center, you click Resources, and on your right, you're going to see the Technology Mondays that have been recorded. So you'll see it there on top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to search for Traverse City, Michigan, waterfront, homes for sale. Now it's important to note that there are about 275,000 websites that have that combination of words or phraseology inside of them. So it becomes a very competitive thing that we're doing here with our SEO. And so it's not easy to break into some of these phrases. The longer the phrase, you'll find, the easier it is to break into it. And this is kind of you may call this a long tail search phrase. Now, if I just search for homes for sale, if you wanted to try to win that battle, it would be nearly impossible, because that's a short tail key phrase. And the reality is you would not want to win that battle anyway, because if someone from Tennessee was looking for a home for sale in Tennessee, it'd be difficult for you to help them out. So you wouldn't want that lead anyway. So you want to kind of hone in on your market and your niche, whatever that is. And so in my case, I've always wanted Traverse City, Michigan homes for sale, waterfront homes for sale, right? So that's kind of been my thing. So we're going to search that. And what you're going to, again, find is 275,000 results. Now in this, you see that there's Zillow that's paying for that phrase. They're paying, I don't know how much per click. It's probably pretty cheap for them. Realtor.com, could be $1 to $2 to $3 a click. And then you start getting into the organic results right here. So as you can see, as you scroll down, I'm there on page 1 of Google for that search phrase, even though I'm competing with a lot of companies here. And of course, you're competing with Zillow as well. So it's not easy to get there, but you can do it. Okay, and the reason that I'm there is I'm going to show you some of the tricks that you can employ when you're doing your SEO for your website. And so this goes to my Great Lakes website. So let me talk and give you an overview of what we have here going that allows this to happen. One of the most important things here is blogging. So let's save that for later. But what we have here in the title of my site, you can see that the title is Waterfront Homes for Sale, Traverse City, Michigan Waterfront Homes for Sale. So that's one of the biggest keys, is the title. And then all of a sudden, you look at the content and you're going to see that the content that I have on the site is geared towards exactly that. Traverse City, Michigan real estate, waterfront homes. You want to make sure that your paragraphs that are here are really keyed towards those exact phrases, right? And so it's one thing to hear it from me, but then another thing here to see it. This is a website that comments on how to improve your SEO, and I just want to kind of reiterate some of the things they talk about and see how I've done that in my website building as well. So the first thing that they mention is link building. Link building is probably one of the most critical things for website SEO. All that is these are links. These are links that lead to your website. In other words, other websites that recommend your site. And so you have control over your links that come from other sites to your site. So, for example, Your Google Plus page, if you have a Google Plus page, you want to have a link to your website there. Your Zillow site for real estate, you want to link to your Zap website or your CB Great Lakes website, whichever you prefer. You're going to want to have any advertisement out there, your Twitter account, any accounts that you have, your social media accounts, are all going to want to point to whatever website that you want to point to. Those are links that we're talking about. They're called inbound links. They're not outgoing links. So in other words, on my website, you do have, this is an outgoing link. This goes to other links in Traverse City. So this is not what we're talking about when we're talking about link building. Link building are inbound links. So take some time, and you need to focus on having links go from other websites to your website. That's pretty critical. But I'll tell you that I haven't done a whole lot of that, but I have done some of that. One of the biggest factors is going to be the second point, and that is optimize your content. So number one is optimize your content, but don't duplicate the content either. So you want to make sure that you don't have the same exact thing written on your CB Great Lakes website that you do on other real estate websites that you might have. For example, Zap. You don't want to copy and paste the exact same thing on those two websites. You want to have them say a little bit different, because Google, when Google looks at your website, they may actually de-index you because you've copied content, because that's viewed as like spammy. It's viewed as like cheating. So you want to be real careful with duplicating the exact same content. Now, this is your, whatever you write in your website, you want to make sure that it's optimized for those keywords. And so the header, this talks about the header. Make sure that it has, like in my case, my header is Traverse City, Michigan Real Estate Waterfront Homes for Sale. I'll show you in a second where you make that change. But whatever your website is for your header is very, very critical. And so you want to make sure that that header is not about you, although you can have that in your header. Make sure it's about your search phrase. Okay, and then the content itself, you want to make sure that the content have keyword phrases that are the thing that you're trying to win in Google for. Long form content, okay, what that means is that's pretty much blogging. So the more that you can blog on your website, so let me just go to my website and show you the last blog that I did was, notice the title, Traverse City Waterfront Homes for Sale. And so the title of this blog is the keyword phrase that I used in the beginning to show you just how I'm on page 1 of Google. So anytime that I write a blog, guess what the title is always going to be? Traverse City Waterfront Homes for Sale, period. It's going to have some sort of, maybe I put in the word, maybe I put MI in there, maybe I put Michigan, I kind of vary it up a little bit. And then guess what that's going to be about? Everyone asks me about waterfront sales in Traverse City Waterfront Homes. Notice that I just copy and pasted this from the MLS, so I didn't type all this stuff out. I just took it and copy and pasted it, and then added a little bit of my verbiage that has, guess what phrase in it? So you can see right there, Traverse City Waterfront Homes for Sale. So this is all copy and paste. I did not type this out. If you think I did, then you're crazy. I would be crazy to do so. But then I always have like little paragraphs in here about what the conclusion is. Traverse City Waterfront homes sold seem to be steady. The number of waterfront homes sold is staying very consistent and seem to be holding strong. We're not seeing the same escalation of prices compared with non-waterfront residential homes, blah, blah, blah. So again, you just kind of write some content here that maybe makes sense. And then I have a link. Notice what this link says, Traverse City Waterfront Homes for Sale Now. So if you click that link, it leads you to a search of Traverse City Homes for Sale. And guess what happens if they click that link and they click on one of these listings? I think you probably know the answer. It's going to lead to me getting the lead, okay? So that's really one of the keys too. So this writer of this SEO content here really has a lot of the same principles that we're adding to our websites that'll help you. So this is talking about your title. Make sure your title has your phraseology in it. So if you're in the, let's just say you're in Petoskey, maybe Petoskey and you do condominiums, be Petoskey, Michigan condominiums for sale. That's really what you want to do. So then you'd focus on that. You'd have that in your title. You'd have that in your content. You'd have that everywhere on your website. All right, so let me go back to my website. And basically that's what you want to do. So let me show you how to do these things. Let me show you how to take care of some of these things so that your website can mirror a lot of these things. Okay, so we're going to go into our online office, or if you're in Zap, you do the same thing in Zap. And I'm going to go to the dashboard. So when you log on to this, you're going to see kind of the same thing. Then you go to website management, and then you're going to go to my website. Okay, so let me go to my website. Okay, and then so here you set your look. That's your image. If you want to change that image, you're welcome to do that. Let's customize settings. So here is notice the search heading. It's not about me, it's about the search that I'm trying to, get ranked in Google, right? So make sure that your search heading has phraseology in it that you are wanting to be found in Google for. Then you're going to write, this is the meta description, so this kind of is in the background. Again, you want to have inside of this thing all of the phraseology that you are vying for the sake of Google searchability. So make sure that your meta description has that same thing in it. And then this is also going to be something that you want to have some phraseology in there too as well. So here is your title as it'll appear on your website. This also has the same thing in it, Traverse City Waterfront Homes for Sale. And then you're going to want these aren't as critical, right? These outbound links don't matter as much, but you can have them in there. And I think that pretty much summarizes that section there. So that's customize your settings. That's pretty important right there. Select your area, not really critical for Google. This is more for consumers, so they know when they search on your website, this is the range that they're going to be searching for. You want to make sure that you have that set. Your search profile is okay. I mean, this is not really that important, but here's where you can make your title the same, like I made my title Traverse City, Michigan Real Estate Waterfront Homes. Okay, so make sure your title has that phraseology in it. And then what this is for, like down here, this is like if someone lands on cbgreatlakes.com and they do a search on cbgreatlakes.com, this phraseology is going to determine what consumers are going to see your page. So you don't have a lot of that happening, so it is important to set this page up, but it's not really a thing that Google uses. It's more something that the consumer is going to see when the consumer lands on cbgreatlakes.com itself. Okay, build your homepage. This is the critical part of the whole thing right here. So we talked about the title of the page. We talked about the meta description, which is invisible to you as a consumer and you as an agent, but the search engines do read some of that metadata. So you want to make sure, and that's all in the customize your settings. Now we're talking about building your homepage. So here in these content sections, as I click on a content section, okay, these are searches, okay, so you do want to have those set up, but those don't really do much for okay, let's go to this content section. Okay, so here, like areas of expertise, I've set up this, Traverse City real estate, Elk Rapids, Torch Lake. Again, you want to have all of your areas in here, right? So you can see that I have these tags that I've added here too. You want to have that all geared towards your search. And I'm going to go back to this one page here because I think I do have some content there. Yep, I do. So this is more kind of like about me a little bit, but even inside of this, when I talk about myself, there is a lot of verbiage here, like Traverse City Waterfront Homes, etc. So you want to make sure that you are typing in that type of search inside of that as well. So each one of these sections, you're going to want to have that same kind of verbiage don't worry about it sounding a little bit spammy. It's all good because you want people to find your website and they're going to do a real estate search, right? So if you want to add more, sections, all you do is you add module, okay, and then what is the module section? Let's just say content. And then you go next, and then the title. What's your title going to be? It's going to be whatever phrase for sale. So you have to put your thinking cap on for what consumers are searching for as they search Google. And so then you're just going to type up a couple of paragraphs about that topic right there, whatever you want to say about it, whatever the title is, and then you're going to write a couple paragraphs that have these keywords in it. So I'm not going to save that, but if I wanted to save it, I just click OK, then I'd add it to my website. But we're not going to do that. Then I would hit save, of course. So again, all of these content sections, you want to make sure that these sections of content are going to have content in them that are going to be rich with those words or phrases that you want to be found in Google with. Now, once you have your website all done, okay, what you want to do is you want to submit your site to Google. And all you do is you go to Google and you click in, you type in submit my site to Google, and then you're going to go to this little link right here, and you're going to type in your, it's going to want you to log in. And so then you just type in the newly updated site that you've just created. So let's just go to, I'm going to go cbgreatlakes.com/Fred.Schmidt. Okay, now you'll notice that I'm using my cbgreatlakes/Fred.Schmidt. I could put in here fredschmidt.com, but Google doesn't like it when you forward with masking. So you want to make sure that either you don't forward your website with masking, or if you do mask, you don't want to use that website. You want to use this link right here. The link that, whatever link is right here is the link that you want to use in most cases, because if you have masking, then you're not going to want to use that masked website. So then you sit Not a Robot, submit request, and then this will get to Google a lot quicker. Google will index your site a lot quicker than if you just let it do it naturally. All websites, believe it or not, are indexed by Google periodically, but whereas usually it could take a couple of weeks if I didn't do this. This happens almost instantaneously, almost within a day or two. My website will now be indexed, and so Google will then read this and then re-index me based upon the content that I've written. So this is something that is really easy to do. So when it comes to masking your domain name and not masking, what I would recommend, let me just go to the customized settings page here and see if there's anything about masking in here. I know the old page. Okay, if you link to another website, link it there. I know with the old site there was a way to mask. I don't know if maybe they took that away, because I think a lot of our website providers are realizing that masking is not necessarily the best thing. Now, if you already have a well-branded domain name that people are going to, because of the fact they know your name in the community, then you probably don't need to worry as much. But if you're looking for SEO, then when you submit your site to Google, you want to make sure it's a domain name that's not being masked, is what I'm trying to say is. You want to make sure that it's the raw website, and that's why I used cbgreatlakes.com/Fred.Schmidt. Okay, so I think that pretty much burns up a lot of the time here. I want to go to some questions in case you guys have questions here, so let's do that right now. Show where you went in Google again. We'll do. Okay, so let's do that. So what I do whenever I'm looking for this, I just go to Google and I search for submit my site to Google. And when you do that, usually the first link is the right one, and you just click that, and then it just has put in your new site that you've just worked on. It doesn't have to be; it can be an old site. But if you make changes to your website, whenever you make changes, what I recommend you do is come here, submit your site. I'm not a robot. Submit request, and that's something that will get your site indexed quicker in Google, and it works pretty good. Let's see what else. Any other questions about how this works? It's really not rocket science. It's really all about content. It's all about getting those free key phrases there. I can tell you that nobody likes to blog. Every time I talk about blogging, people cringe. They go in a corner. They cover their ears. I mean, they're like, I do not want to blog, and I don't blame you. I don't like blogging either. But if you just do it like once a month, I mean, really once a month, it's really not that bad, and it will help your site tremendously. And I know that from experience. I didn't used to believe in it either, but then when I started doing it, I found out that I really did get some good results. And so, and by the way, Jerry and I just had a closing. The buyer came from a Google search. They bought a $240,000 house from us, and it was all because of this optimization that we're talking about. So it does work, and I venture to say that you can expect, if you do a real good job and get on page one, you can get between 2 to 5 closings a year from that if you work it right. And so it definitely is something that's worth it. And another thing that is, if you can go to your sellers, let's just say I'm competing with a waterfront listing, right? And I go to Google, I'm competing, let's just say Bob Brick, and he's a huge name in Traverse City, right? So he's been around a while. He's got a lot of, he's known in the community. I go to Google and I search for Traverse City waterfront homes for sale, and I'm on page one. And if you don't see Bob's, you don't see his website up there, that's going to be pretty easy to compete with him if I'm competing against him. Because as a seller, you're going to want to be found on page one of Google, right? So it's not just buyers; it's being able to show the sellers what you're able to do. Now, you do have also, this is kind of a side point, but it's also along the same lines. All of your listings that you have have YouTube videos that have been created for you through Listing to Leads. So kind of a side point, Listing to Leads creates YouTube videos for your listings. So whenever you Google an address, let's just take an example here, 3343 Michael Drive. I don't know if it's Acme or it's Williamsburg, one of the two. See what comes up here. Okay, good. So you got Zillow there, you got this, that, and the other thing, and there should be a YouTube video here somewhere. There we go, YouTube video. So normally you're going to find that your listings are going to be on page one, and so that's another thing that you can illustrate to a seller is if you're competing with another agent, let's say, and you have an example of one of your listings that's on page one because of these videos that are created. I mean, that's pretty powerful too. So that's another thing to keep in mind when you're competing with another agent. We have these automated videos that will direct the prospective buyer to you. And as a seller of any kind of property, you're going to want that. I mean, it'd be idiotic not to want that. So that's something to keep in mind as well. All right, we're on 28 minute mark. So I think we're going to go ahead and close it out there. All right, very good. Thank you guys for your feedback. Really appreciate it. And again, we'll have this recorded. We'll have this uploaded by the same time tomorrow. It'll be on your online offices in Resource Center. So again, thanks so much, you guys, and we'll talk to you next Monday.